Club sport was fun. It was vibrant. Sport was like an art. The competitiveness, the jubilation, the excitement certainly eased the pain of social tension, and restored a bit of our dignity somewhat. The ills of apartheid, this animal, erodes one's self worth. But on the sporting field, in the swimming pool, you felt worthy.
Community. The community gave the anti-apartheid movement its power, because under apartheid you could not gather in a crowd because it was illegal. You could only gather at church, sometimes at the funeral, school assemblies, which were monitored by the state police. You couldn't say anything political really at a school assembly. And then you had sports gatherings. Now, how do you stop 10,000 people from attending a soccer match?
It offered us an escape. It's offered us an outlet to express ourselves. And as I said earlier, where memories was made, where you felt complete, it was wholesome.
My sporting world started with my father on his shoulders. He was busy coaching a team called Young Lions. And that's where I really realized how precious and how important sport is. There were strategies, there was formats, there was a whole lot of things put together to make you a successful person. I have 6 siblings. They all were involved in sport. My mother as well. I started playing hockey for Spartans Ladies Hockey Club, and it's all thanks to Mrs. Maureen Greef, Mrs. Greef, Mrs. Worley, Adelaide Statler, Mrs. Ramzan, Mrs. Martin, all of them. There's such a lot of people that I can thank for bringing me into the sporting world. I also thank Thistles Rugby Club, Universals, Arabian College, because those are the people who used to play at the Union grounds, and they used to motivate us as sports people. And this helped the community get along.
But I can tell you, in Kimberley, when some of the soccer matches took place, the crowds there were large. Most of the time I didn't even bother going to the soccer, because you'd have to park 3 kilometers away. And there were no facilities for people to really stand. I mean, soccer was also really poorly served by the structures in Kimberley. But community gave the anti-apartheid struggle its power in sport, because it was something that you could not pin down.
We struggled a lot in sport to get where we were. For me, being a sportswoman was more about learning skills. Skills which encouraged me to continue with my whole life. When you're down, you think, what do I do? How do I get out of a situation? All the successes and all the failures of my sports world has brought me out, because I've been assertive, I've been encouraged, I've been motivated by the leaders of before. And at the end of the day, we didn't just play hockey. We were involved in every sporting code. Swimming, hockey, tennis, netball, soccer. It was just a whole community thing for us. That was our way of growing up. For us, it wasn't a status thing. It wasn't a competitive thing. It was a humanity thing. It was about being human. It was about getting together as families, enjoying yourselves on a Saturday afternoon, going to the rugby after I've played my hockey game, watching my brothers play hockey, watching the competition, but after that, the enjoyment and the fulfillment of just being together. You couldn't wait for your weekends, actually. Whereas our youth of today don't have that fun that we had.
People my age now, we are probably the last of the people who actually played in that era of SACOS and community sport. And more of our guys are dying. We're dying of all sorts of diseases now. Like I say, Ralph Honey passed away. I had a heart attack. We are working in this rat race that is just slowly phasing us out. Quite recently, I lost one of my personal heroes, Mr. Desmond Pitt. And the community, in effect, has lost its heart because the clubs are no longer there. Ayaraba Stadium is standing there, and it's been sold out from under the community that sacrificed so much to get it. And they were given nothing in return except these glamorous images on TV. And when the other night I sat and I looked at the photo that was taken in my backyard of Eunice. And I said to my wife, I said, you know, a few years ago I looked at this image and there were two guys on this photograph that were no longer with us. And that was Peter Cedras and Marcus Basopoulos. Now I look at the image, now I see Marcus Basopoulos, Peter Cedras, Coty Fleming, Desmond Pitt, Gotta Hofster, all of them are gone. And that is what's happening to our history. It's dying out, it's fading away. And our youngsters are buying into the idea that they are being patriotic by wearing a green jersey with a goat on and waving a flag. But they don't know that that's got nothing to do with patriotism, but everything to do with nationalism, which is what we fought against.